One pushcart, one teacher, one life change, the inspiring story of Efren Peñaflorida. Have you ever wondered how one ordinary person can change the lives of thousands without being rich, famous, or powerful? Today, I want to share the remarkable story of Efren Peñaflorida, a man who proved that compassion, creativity, and courage can transform communities. His story doesn't begin in a palace or a prestigious university. It begins in an ordinary neighborhood in the Philippines, where poverty, violence, and limited opportunities were everyday realities. As a young boy, Efren experienced bullying because of his small physique. Many children who endure bullying become bitter or withdraw from society. But Efren chose a different path. Instead of allowing pain to define him, he allowed it to deepen his compassion. That is one of the greatest lessons in life. Your greatest wound can become your greatest purpose. Rather than asking, "Why is this happening to me?" he eventually began asking, "How can I help others who are suffering?" That simple shift changed everything. While studying, Efren realized that many children living in the streets were unable to attend school. Some scavenged for food, others begged for money. Many had already lost hope before they even had the chance to dream. Most people simply walked past them. Some pitied them, others judged them. Efren decided to teach them, but there was a problem. The children weren't going to school, so instead of waiting for them to come to a classroom, he brought the classroom to them. Imagine that for a moment. He placed books, chalkboards, notebooks, pencils, and learning materials onto a simple pushcart. Then he wheeled that cart through the streets. That pushcart became a mobile classroom. It became a place of hope. It became a place where forgotten children were finally seen. This simple yet revolutionary idea became known as the Karaton Classroom, or Pushcart Classroom. There were no fancy buildings, no expensive technology, no air-conditioned rooms, just a teacher with a heart full of compassion. Sometimes we think making a difference requires enormous resources. Efren's life teaches us otherwise. What changes the world isn't always money. It's imagination combined with love. One pushcart became a school. One conversation became encouragement. One lesson became a second chance. As more volunteers joined, the movement grew. Children learned to read. They learned mathematics. More importantly, they learned that someone believed in them. Never underestimate the power of being believed in. Sometimes people don't need someone to rescue them. They simply need someone to remind them that they matter. Education is far more than memorizing facts. Education tells a child, you are capable, you have value, you have a future. That may be the greatest gift a teacher can ever give. Efren didn't just educate minds, he restored dignity. Eventually, his work gained national attention, then international attention. In 2009, Efren Peñaflorida was named CNN Hero of the Year, receiving recognition from millions of people around the globe. Think about that. The world celebrated not a movie star, not a billionaire, not a politician, but a teacher pushing a cart. Isn't that beautiful? It reminds us that greatness isn't measured by wealth. Greatness is measured by the lives we lift. Recognition was never Efren's goal. Service was. Awards simply followed. There's another lesson hidden in his story. Don't chase applause. Chase purpose. When your purpose is clear, recognition becomes a byproduct, not the destination. Another remarkable aspect of Efren's journey is that he never claimed he could solve every problem. He simply addressed the problem directly in front of him. Many of us become overwhelmed because the world's problems seem too large. Poverty, crime, climate change, corruption, inequality. We ask ourselves, what difference can one person possibly make? Efren answered that question, not with words, but with action. One child at a time. One lesson at a time. One pushcart at a time. History is often changed this way, not by one gigantic event, but by thousands of small acts of kindness repeated consistently. Imagine if each of us identified one problem within our own community. Perhaps it's children needing tutoring. Perhaps it's elderly neighbors living alone. Perhaps it's people struggling with mental health. Perhaps it's cleaning local parks. Perhaps it's mentoring young people. We don't have to solve every problem. We simply have to solve one. That's where real change begins. Efren's story also teaches humility. Despite international recognition, he remained grounded. He continued serving. He continued inspiring volunteers. He continued believing that ordinary citizens can build extraordinary communities. Humility is often misunderstood. People think humility means thinking less of yourself. Actually, humility means thinking of yourself less often. It means focusing on how your gifts can benefit others. Efren used his education not as a ladder to escape society. He used it as a bridge to reach those left behind. What a powerful image, a bridge instead of a ladder. Perhaps that's a question worth asking ourselves today. Are our talents building walls or building bridges? Are our careers only benefiting ourselves, or are they creating opportunities for others? Every profession can become an instrument of service. A doctor heals, an engineer builds, an artist inspires. A business owner creates jobs. A parent shapes the future. A student encourages classmates. Even a smile can change someone's difficult day. Service doesn't require a title, it requires willingness. Sometimes people wait until they become successful before helping others. Efren reminds us that helping others is often what leads us toward true success. Success isn't simply reaching the top. Success is lifting others as you climb. That's a different definition of achievement, and perhaps a better one. There's also something deeply inspiring about the simplicity of the pushcart. It symbolizes resourcefulness. Instead of complaining about what he lacked, Efren maximized what he had. How often do we postpone our dreams because conditions aren't perfect? We tell ourselves, I'll start when I have more money, I'll start when I have more time, I'll start when I feel more confident. But waiting for perfect conditions often means waiting forever. Efren started with what he had. That made all the difference. Maybe your own pushcart already exists. Perhaps it's your laptop, your camera, your voice, your cooking skills, your ability to listen, your experience, your kindness. Don't underestimate the tools already in your hands. The question isn't, what do I wish I had? The better question is, what can I do with what I already have? That mindset changes everything. The story of Efren Peñaflorida is ultimately a story of hope. Hope isn't merely wishing life becomes better. Hope is choosing to make life better. Action creates hope. Compassion creates hope. Education creates hope. Service creates hope. Every child who learned to read because of the pushcart classroom carried hope into the future. Every volunteer carried hope. Every supporter carried hope. And now, everyone who hears Efren's story carries that hope as well. Perhaps that's the greatest legacy anyone can leave. Not monuments, not wealth, not fame, but hope. As we reflect on Efren Peñaflorida's life, maybe the most important question isn't whether we could build another pushcart classroom. The real question is this: what is the pushcart in your own life? What unique gift, skill, experience, or opportunity can you use to help someone else? Because changing the world doesn't always begin with grand speeches or massive budgets. Sometimes it begins with one person who refuses to look away, one person who decides to care, one person who takes the first step. Efren Peñaflorida reminds us that ordinary people can accomplish extraordinary things when they choose compassion over comfort, action over excuses, and service over self-interest. And perhaps the next inspiring story the world will hear could begin with you.